Columbus, Ohio, the home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, is our site for today's first contest here on CFB 26 Road to Glory on Heisman difficulty, starring yours truly, Axon Jackson Wilson. It is our senior year. We are with the Purdue Boilermakers, off to a solid start here on our last run at 3-1. We just picked up an upset win at Madison against Wisconsin. Now, we got an even bigger test in a taller order here today, as the Boilermakers go up against one of the best football programs in America. The Ohio State Buckeyes will look to defend their home turf after picking up a hard-fought win against Purdue at West Lafayette, Indiana last year. Jackson Wilson has been the hottest player in America the last 2 weeks. He's coming off a pair of triple-digit yardage performances, and now here he is, finally getting some full action against Ohio State, because if you don't remember last season, Wilson was injured in Purdue's game against OSU, so he only got about one snap of action before he was taken to the sideline. He's back now, and he's ready for action as Purdue looks to pull an upset for the second consecutive week. Let's see how we do on a slip screen right out of the gate. We're in the rain, so conditions will not be friendly. Let's see if Purdue can handle this with their backs against the wall. Here's a good screen for Jackson Wilson. He scurries out of bounds for a gain of about 8, and that's how we get today's game started. Welcome in, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you are new, and don't forget that Jesus Christ loves you guys. I don't care who you are or what you've been through. He wants a relationship with you, and He's the way, the truth, and the life. No one may come to the Father except through Him. Repent. Turn from your sin, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. 2nd down and 2 for Purdue, who lines up at the 31-yard line. Wilson on the first play from scrimmage made an 8-yard catch. Now they're going to hand it off to him looking for the first. But unfortunately, he's going to get tackled. About a yard short to gain. That's going to be 3rd down and 3. Ohio State brought pressure off the edge, and it pays off. This place going absolutely berserk here in Columbus. This is ranked the 3rd overall crowd in terms of stadium pulse. Boilermakers are definitely feeling the effects of it as they try to get a big play right here. And the quarterback is going to eat dirt. He gets a face full of grass on that sack, and Purdue's going to have to punt this away. So Ohio State on its first offensive drive picks up a field goal. And now here are the Boilermakers, starting out from their own 25. Once again, they'll hand it to Jackson Wilson. There's a great block. Wilson with the hard cut, and he gains about 8 on that carry. It's going to bring up 2nd and 2. So Wilson with a pair of 8-yard plays to begin his afternoon. Wilson slowly but surely improving his NFL draft stock as we make our way through his senior season here on CFB 26. Heisman difficulty. 3-0 Ohio State. It's week number 5. Purdue comes in at 3-1. Ohio State at 4-1. 2nd and 2. Here's the snap to Wilson, who once again looks for a run. They try to trip him up, but they are unsuccessful. Jackson Wilson refusing to go down, and he picks up the first for the Boilermakers. He's now got 11 rushing yards. Now let's go to a bench. About halfway through the first quarter, Purdue went 3 and out in the opening drive, then Ohio State goes up 3-0. Here's the snap. Pressure coming. Short throw to the left sideline. That's complete for a gain of about 8. You gotta love the heart and soul of this Purdue team. They're showing no fear despite being on the road against Ohio State. They're coming off a huge victory on the road at Madison with a upset Wisconsin. So Purdue definitely is built different in comparison to last year. With a healthy Jackson Wilson, that definitely increases their chances as well. Wilson looking for the first down. He comes up short of it. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 1. Now I'm thinking because they're looking for the run, we should go to the screen. If this backfires, that's on us. Yeah, Ohio State's going to be bringing heat right here. It's got to be a perfectly executed play. Here's the snap. Wilson trying to get free on the outside, and he does. Perfect block. Wilson near the Ohio State logo is finally brought down. Buckeyes thought they had Wilson right there, but the perfect juke leading to a perfectly timed block. And this drive will continue for the Boilermakers. Wilson braving the wet turf. That brings up first down. Balanced effort so far, 28 yards total for Jackson Wilson. As we go into another pass play. Ohio State 3, Purdue 0. As this quarterback takes the snap, looking to throw. It is caught. That'll be a positive gain of 3 up the middle. Second down and 7. Big Ten action is underway. Purdue won their conference opener against Wisconsin. They've been victorious in 3 of their first 4 games on their schedule. And now they have a true test here today against a top 10 foe in Ohio State. Came into this game ranked number 6. Here's the snap and the handoff to Wilson on 2nd and 7. Wilson with the hard cut. He's still going to the 20, into the red zone and out of bounds. One thing I've also noticed from this Purdue team is the improved blocking. Jackson Wilson finally able to create some holes because of that, and he's taking care of the rest. He's got Purdue set up for its first scoring opportunity. It'll be first down and 10 from the 17-yard line. Jackson Wilson, like we mentioned at the top of the show, he's the hottest player in America the last 2 weeks, coming off a dominant outing against FCS West and Wisconsin. And now they're going to fearlessly go back to the run here on 1st and 10. To the outside, Wilson, but he gets stuffed. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Purdue. All right, now let's go with... We've definitely got to get in shotgun formation because with this offensive line, or defensive line, I should say, for Ohio State, definitely don't want to get caught up in it. All right, Jackson Wilson near the sideline. See if we can't poke a hole in this. Here he is. Wilson makes the catch. We'll take that for a gain of about 4. 3rd down and 6. I didn't want to slide down there, but hey, it's better than our quarterback getting sacked. Going to be tough to stay on your feet today with the wet grass. Purdue not only fighting this crowd, but the conditions as well. 3rd and 6. Here's the snap. Hard cut by Wilson. He's covered, and the quarterback is going to go down. So that sack will make it 4th and 12 for Purdue. And I would assume the Boilermakers will bring the kicking unit out for the field goal. It's successful, and the Boilermakers defense has held. They get the ball back. And here comes Jackson Wilson after a word with his head coach. I think it's time for another slip screen. This time, let's see if we can go to the left side. Ball at the 20-yard line for the Boilermakers. We're in a 3-3 tie with Ohio State. Here's a screen for Jackson Wilson. He's going to go out of bounds for the first down. Calling these plays at the perfect time. Got to love that chemistry, that coordination that Wilson is slowly developing with his quarterback. He was feeling the heat once again. They were able to check it down to the left side, and Jackson Wilson continuing to pile up the yardage here against a true heavyweight in Ohio State. This is why Jackson Wilson transferred to a bigger school from San Jose State, so he could show the world what he could do in a national spotlight such as this. Here's the handoff to Wilson, right up the middle. Wilson up the gut. He's got another first down, 58 rushing yards on 7 carries. The good just keeps on giving for Jackson Wilson as he looks to wheel the Boilermakers to a 2nd consecutive upset. 42 passing yards, 47 rushing yards. Jackson Wilson in the middle of both of those attacks. And check out Purdue with the 6.5-minute time of possession. That's also crucial. All right, let's go with the slant stick. 31 receiving yards and 57 rushing yards for Jackson Wilson. And what has been an incredible effort to this point. Left sideline, batted away, incomplete. Again, Wilson was the intended receiver. This time Ohio State was ready for it. Give them credit on that. Now, I'm going to remove myself from the next play. Well, not really remove myself, but I'll be there for a check down in case we need it. 2nd down and 10. Here's the snap. Pressure once again coming. Wide open over the middle, but the quarterback with the bad throw. That's going to go incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 10 now for Purdue. Okay, this is going to be a quick shift right here. Go to the other side. We're overloading the left. All right, here we go. Jackson Wilson lines up. Hard cut to the sideline. Quarterback is in trouble, and he's sacked again. This ferocious front seven of Ohio State giving the Purdue quarterback nightmares as the Boilermakers make their way to the sideline, and they have to watch Ohio State go down and get the first touchdown of the game. 1st and 10 now as the Boilermakers look for the tie. Back to the screen. Will they be ready for it this time? That's the question. In the shotgun, Purdue. With Wilson to the right. Takes the snap. It's again available. Wilson dancing. And he gains about 5 on that catch. That's the 100th completed pass of the season for Paul Wilbon. And on 2nd and 5, Purdue's going to look to stay tough. Just like last year, they're giving Ohio State a great effort. The 2nd play in a row, this is going to be another screen. Wilson trying to get to the outside. The blocking wasn't there, and Wilson's going to go down. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. .447 remaining on the first half clock as Wilbon takes the snap. Hard slip. And again, he's going to get sacked. Reality may be setting in for Purdue as Ohio State continues to maul its quarterback. But shout out to the defense, man, on the other side. They're definitely doing everything they can to keep us in it. 3:22 to go here in the first half. 10-3 lead for Ohio State over Purdue. They go with the jet touch pass to Wilson's teammates. Around the outside, and it goes nowhere. As a matter of fact, he lost 2 yards on that play. 2nd and 12 coming up. Jackson Wilson has been really the only bright spot on offense so far for the Boilermakers. On 2nd and 12, here's a check down to Wilson. He makes the catch for a gain of about 5. 3rd and 7 coming up for Purdue. Solid performance for Jackson Wilson so far. He's already nearing 100 total yards as a dual threat running back here on Heisman difficulty, CFB 26. And on 3rd and 7, Purdue trying to make something happen here. The throw is going to be caught for the first down. Paul Wilbon delivers. He finally got the protection that he needed. The wide receiver was right there, and he put her in the bread basket. Now let's go with a PA read. Shotgun formation. Takes the snap. Here is Wilson to the outside. And it's off his hands, incomplete. I blame the wet conditions for that. But if Wilson had made that catch, he probably had the first down. Well, unfortunately, that didn't work out for us. Now let's go back to the slip screen. Nope, take that back. Go to the run play. They're going to be expecting a pass. Here it goes. It's going to be a screen for Wilson to the sideline. Miscommunication. I tried to audible out of that, but thankfully it resulted in a 4-yard gain. Now on 3rd and 6. Can we come up big? See what the coach is suggesting. All right, we'll start out with a smash. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in to CFB 26 Road to Glory. I'm your host, Jackson Wilson. If you're watching live, be sure to tune in later tonight for our next playthrough, which will be Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep this train rolling. Wilson to the left side. It's going to be a screen play with the pressure coming. Here we go. Wilson is going to deliver. Scurrying to the sideline, out of bounds. The Boilermakers, calm, cool under pressure. Wilson with the missed opportunity on a drop ball on 1st and 10. But here he is making plays later in the drive when it matters. What a performance today for Jackson Wilson as he continues his dominant senior season for the University of Purdue. 1st and 10 coming up from the 40. Now they're going to draw up a run play. Look at this balanced effort. 56 receiving yards, 57 rushing yards. Wilson's going to try to go up the gut. He avoids the pressure, but he's only able to get 1 yard, as Ohio State had plenty of reinforcements with that 5-star offensive line. 2nd and 9 coming up for the Boilermakers. We're trying to work their way into field goal range. This will be another running play for Jackson Wilson, and now we're going to have to audible out of this. I'll tell you what, we're going to call timeout. Because sometimes the audible won't work when you're in an environment such as this. So you got to play it smart. We still got 2 to work with. How about we go with another screenplay, this time to the right. There's plenty of room for me to work with if we can execute this. Here we go. The pass, the screen. There it is. Jackson Wilson gains about 2. That'll bring up 3rd and 7 for Purdue. Big play right here. 7 yards to keep this drive alive. Wilson, hard cut over the middle. And he can't make the catch. They tried the check down to at least get in field goal range, but Ohio State was there to stop it. And now here in the second half, after Ohio State puts up a field goal, it's Purdue football trailing by 10. 58 yards apiece on receiving and rushing for Jackson Wilson, who has an A- grade here today. Here's the snap. Wilson bringing that extra help on the protection. And the catch is made near the sideline to make it 2nd down and 2. Now let's see if we can ambush them out of the stick formation. Wilson in motion. Here's the snap. Hard cut. And that's going to be a completion, I would assume, based on the crowd silence, and it is. Great play by Wilson's teammates on the opposing side. Keeps the drive alive. This is a very crucial trip for Purdue, who trails Ohio State 13-3 here in Columbus. Hand off to Jackson Wilson, and he goes nowhere. That'll bring up 2nd down and 11. Quarterback in the shotgun formation. Wilson behind him. An individual to his left. Takes the snap. Fake handoff to Wilson. Play action. They go to the outside, but it amounts to another loss. That'll make it 3rd and 15. Yeah, we're definitely overwhelmed here today, despite the efforts from Wilson. Makes a hard cut over the middle, and this play is going to go nowhere. Great job by the defense once again. You know, this is still looking like a moral victory for us, even if we lose. Because the goal basically is to win more games than we did last year. And when we go up against a team that's clearly better than us, if we don't come out on top, look competitive. And right now that's the case for Wilson and the Boilermakers. Wilson scurrying to the sideline and nearly picking up the first on that screen play. It brings up 2nd and 1. Paul Wilbin surpasses 1,000 passing yards. He's got that man to thank for a lot of it. Jackson Wilson, despite being a running back, he's playing like he's the top wide receiver target, and he honestly is. Let's alternate these screens here. 2nd down and 1. Here they go again. Another screen. But Ohio State reads it this time. 3rd and 6 now. 13-3. The snap. Over the middle. Jackson Wilson with the catch and the first down for Purdue. That was a game-saving play for all we know. Trailing by 10, we were about to give the ball back to Ohio State. But look at the concentration by Jackson Wilson. Calm, cool, and collected under pressure. And now 1st and 10 at the 47. Handoff to Wilson, right up the middle. That's a perfect block right there, and Wilson will eat up 7 yards. 2nd and 3 coming up next. This crowd is loud, they're obnoxious. But Purdue not going down without a fight. 133 total yards now for Jackson Wilson. As he'll get another handoff. Goes up the middle, and he's got another first down for Purdue. This is very, very crucial for us because we can get a few more yards. Even if we just get a field goal, we're back within a single possession. Let's run it again. 1st down and 10. Shotgun formation. Another handoff to Wilson. There he goes for another positive gain. That'll make it 2nd and 8. Boilermakers are now in field goal range as they go into a tight end attack on 2nd and 8. Jackson Wilson will go in motion. Here's the snap. Wilson again open over the middle, but the wide receiver teammate is there to make the play. We'll most certainly take that. And now let's quickly go to a screen. Quickly. Every play matters here. See if the Buckeye defense is awake right now. It's not there, but instead Wilson goes over the middle. What a juke! They were ready for the screen, but Jackson Wilson reverses gears. And he'll pick up 5 more yards on that play. And that'll take us to the 4th quarter here at Columbus. 2nd down and 5 coming up for Purdue. Boilermakers only down by 10. It's 13-3 Buckeyes as we enter the final 10 minutes of the game. Got to come up big here, y'all. They put the ball in the hands of Wilson again. Up the middle he goes, and he's got another first. That brings up 1st and goal at the 6. What a performance by Jackson Wilson against this ferocious Ohio State defense. Purdue knocking on the door of the end zone, trying to get in and bring this back to a 3-point deficit. They give it to Wilson again. Why not? But this time he's tripped up. He did pick up a yard there. Now it's going to bring up 2nd and 5. Now let's go to a screen. We've been alternating this beautifully. How about we go to the left side this time? Keeping them honest on both ends. 13-3 the score. Shotgun formation with an empty backfield. Here's the flip to Wilson, and he cannot get in because the blocking was non-existent. 3rd down and 8 now coming up. Well, if we don't get a touchdown here, we can at least get a field goal. Here we go. Quarterback takes the snap. He's got Wilson over the middle. It is caught. but the Ohio State defense has held. Now, can we get a field goal? We should, and we do. And Ohio State goes down and gets a touchdown. So even if we did get a touchdown, we'd still be down 2 possessions. So unfortunately, it's not looking like it's meant to be for us. My day's about concluded anyway because of my wear and tear, but we balled out. We had 155 yards, another A-plus grade. I don't like this formation. Let's get a timeout. We're down by 14, 20-6 here in the fourth quarter. Heisman difficulty, road to glory, week 5. Yours truly, Action Jackson, the running back for the Purdue Boilermakers. 74 receiving yards, 81 rushing yards out of the dual threat. But it has still not been enough for us here today. And the quarterback being pursued, still on his feet, and then he finally goes down. I'm surprised he didn't throw that ball. I mean, I was wide open over the middle of the field. Let's try to run straight down here. The pressure is coming. Quarterback's going to take a deep shot. He's got somebody, but it's broken up, incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Let's go to the screenplay. Why not? We got nothing to lose. Nope, never mind. Quarterback got hit again. Yeah, reality has finally set in. But I'm not bitter about this. But, Ohio State was clearly the better team. But there's a lot of positives we can take from this game for sure. This is it. The game's on the line right here. Deep throw, and that looks like that's going to be broken up. No, never mind. Paul Wilbon delivers, and Purdue keeps the game alive with 6 minutes to play. Wow, we will absolutely take that. That makes me even more pleased with our effort here today. Wilson will stay out of this play. There's a throw over the middle. Wilson's teammates with a catch. It makes it 2nd down and 4. Boilermakers looking to keep the line moving right here. Try to catch him off guard with a run play. Here goes Wilson up the middle. Wilson gains about 2, and now we got an injury timeout for Ohio State. That works into Purdue's advantage because it'll stop the clock. And now it looks like Jackson Wilson has reached the end of his day. So Purdue comes up short, and that's going to do it. Ohio State, 20. Purdue, 6. That's your final here in Columbus. The Buckeyes remain unbeaten, while Purdue will go back to the drawing board with a record of 3-2. Another A-plus grade for Jackson Wilson. 74 receiving yards and 83 rushing attempts. And now let's go chillax in our ice bath. Get some injury rehab in. And prepare for week number 7. Purdue takes its first conference loss of the year. They're 1-1 in Big Ten play, 3-2 overall. The headline is very, very fitting. I don't know if you guys saw it. I was kind of quick to advance, but it said, "Can't put it together." The effort was there. We showed a lot of fight, but ultimately we just couldn't put it together against a team that was clearly better than us. Speaking of a team that's clearly better than us, we got another one this week as the Oregon Ducks are coming to town for a Big Ten clash in West Lafayette. Thank you to all the new viewers. This is Action Jackson Wilson with Ladder of Light Gaming. The CFB 26 Road to Glory, Heisman difficulty. Preparing for the next Big Ten contest against Oregon. Wilson looking to continue his strong play and production. All right, here we go. Ducks and Boilermakers from West Lafayette. This is game number 6 of Wilson's senior year. Purdue currently possesses a winning record of 3-2. Let's see if they can continue their solid play and pull off another upset. Those of you that may be new, we already have an upset this year. We went to Wisconsin and knocked off the Badgers. Now the Boilermakers are going to try to bring something home on their duck hunt. We'll look at Jackson Wilson loosening up, hyping up his teammates as they get ready to play another game in front of this wonderful home atmosphere. It's time to boiler up and respond following a tough loss against Ohio State. All right, I don't think we're 100% healthy for this game, but that's okay. That's part of the deal. You know, like, you're not always going to feel 100%, especially in the game of football, especially in the middle of the season. So here comes Jackson Wilson and the Boilermakers after the defense picks up a big stop on the game's opening drive. We actually have good field position as we begin from our own 35. Oregon's in pass defense, so here they go with Wilson up the middle. Wilson will pick up 5 yards on that rush. The Oregon Ducks, who are new to the Big Ten Conference, making that 2,000-mile trip from Eugene to West Lafayette. Boilermakers are trying to give them a rude welcome as they look to build on this 3-2 start to Wilson's senior campaign. They're going to run this again. Here goes Wilson up the gut. A gain of about 1. That brings up 3rd and 4. Wilson doing his part and getting the Boilermakers into at least field goal range. I mean, we want to get points on the board no matter how we do it, especially with that second half kickoff in our back pocket. Now the quarterback takes the snap. He's got Wilson right there, and it's caught for the first down. Wilson is always there on those checkdowns if the pressure is able to be contained. Well, the quarterback got rid of that just in time. Jackson Wilson able to haul that in. Fresh set of downs for Purdue from the 24-yard line. Here comes a screen play for Jackson Wilson. Great block. Wilson going for the sideline. Can't quite get there, but he'll pick up the 6-yard gain on his second catch. 2nd and 4 coming up. Ball at the 18-yard line. Boilermakers are on the move, trying to strike first in this Big Ten Conference clash. Kiko Lowlams, you couldn't have said it better. It's duck hunt season. We're trying to pull off another upset for this raucous crowd. Wilson up the middle. But the quarterback, or rather the line was there to take away the first down. Take another look. Good juke. Wilson was ready to go up the middle with a full burst of speed, but it wasn't there. All right, back to the screen. Come on, guys. With good blocking, we should have the first down. 3rd and 3 coming up from the 17-yard line. Here's the snap. They go to Wilson. The blocking is there, and Wilson still going for the touchdown! Jackson Wilson using one of his best skills to his advantage, patience. Instead of going directly to the sideline, Wilson bought time. If you guys don't know what acceleration is, it doesn't always mean speed up and go in a positive direction. Sometimes it means slowing down and going the opposite way. Jackson Wilson taking it easy, and it ends up paying off. And then at the right time, he exploded. That's another touchdown for Wilson to make it 7-0 Purdue. And that is a key start to this game because the defense gets another stop. Kiko Lowlams boiler up indeed. We got to make our hometown fans proud once again. We had a valiant effort on the road against number 6 Ohio State. We lost that game 20-6, but that was in hostile territory. And now this is going to be another handoff to Wilson. Here we go. And that's not going to get anywhere. Wilson blown up on that play. That brings up 2nd and 10. This is another game against a ferocious defensive front. As you can see, Oregon, 3-1. They've got all this talent up front. And I think overall-wise, they've got us beat by like 30 points. So if we can keep this game close, we can remain competitive, it's definitely a moral victory for the squad. In the single back formation, takes the snap. There's a good completion right there to Wilson's teammates from Wilbin. Now let's go back to the screen. 3rd down and 2 coming up. We'll audible out of this if they're looking for it. Doesn't look like it. Let's draw it up. Here we go. Great block. Wilson hard cut. He's got the 1st down. Wilson making his 4th catch. He's now got 31 yards, and Purdue remains on the move. You know, I got to give our quarterback a lot of credit. He started out the season as a turnover machine. I wasn't really expecting much, but he's definitely made a lot of great decisions over the past couple of games. His IQ is definitely increasing. That's a big reason why this team looks a lot better than they did last year. Now they're going to try to send Wilson to the outside. There he goes. Burst of speed, hard cut, almost split 2 defenders, and he nearly was in the clear for a touchdown. But we'll definitely take that too. Jackson Wilson red hot. That's now 75 receptions this season for the Purdue dual threat running back / wide receiver. Improving his NFL draft stock day by day. And now on 2nd and 1. Purdue trying to keep the sticks moving. Hand off to Wilson. Up the middle. Another 1st down. Now it is worth mentioning I didn't come into this game 100% in terms of wear and tear. We're probably not going to make it through the whole game. But Jackson Wilson, like we talk about so often, the touches that he's been getting, taking advantage of them. Now let's drop a play for our teammates here. We're once again in field goal range. Just 3 points here would put us up 2 possessions. As Jackson Wilson goes in motion, he'll change up his route. And now we got movement on the line. Looked like Oregon jumped first, but Purdue is going to get flagged with a penalty. That's a bummer. All right, so instead of 1st and 10, it's going to be 1st and 15. And as a matter of fact, that pushed us out of field goal range. And now the quarterback is feeling the heat. But he's still able to get the pass away, get the Boilermakers back where they started from. That's going to make it 2nd down and 10. Okay, they're looking for the slip screen, so let's just go to a slant stick here. Here's the snap. Hard cut over the middle. It's caught by Wilson's teammates for a gain of 6. 3rd down and 4 coming up now. As long as we don't turn the ball over here, guys, we are in field goal range. We can add to this lead. Here we go. Over the middle. It's broken up, incomplete. Pressure was coming. Quarterback with the wise decision to get rid of it. And the Boilermakers capitalize. And the defense delivers yet again. It's 10-0 Boilermakers. And man, we can blow this game wide open if we can score again. Stick to the plan, Stan. Yeah, timeout. They're looking for it. I don't want to call a timeout this early in the half, but it's definitely necessary, I personally think. All right, here comes a play-action slide. Wilson so far in this game with 50 yards. Yeah, Kiko Low-Lambs, our defense has definitely leveled up in comparison to last year. Here's a block by Wilson. Great throw. Nice juke. That'll be a gain of about 8. We're now on 2nd and 2. Now let's go back to the slip screen. Like how the offense is playing today, too, because we've been able to get down the field pretty consistently. Here goes Wilson again, but there's some backup right there. The lineman was there to make that play. And now on 3rd and 5. Need another big play from the offense. Slot post. Empty backfield. Takes the snap. Over the middle. Wilson right there for the first down. Nobody else was open. So Jackson Wilson takes over the role, as he's done so often. Slides down to pick up the fresh set of downs for the Boilermakers. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. It is Purdue 10 and Oregon 0. All right, fresh set of downs for the Boilermakers to work with. All right, Rico, let's draw up this play for you. 53 yards for Jackson Wilson in that first quarter. Here's the snap. Quarterback gets hit as he throws, incomplete. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Now the ball at the 41-yard line. Pressure's going to be coming here. So let's audible into another pass play. Here we go on the slants. Here's the snap. The throw is caught near the sideline. Great play. Pick up 5 yards. Keep us moving into field goal range. All right, can we come up clutch here on the left side? Here we go. Screenplay Wilson. Great block right there. And it is short of the first down. However, that does put us in field goal range. And the Boilermakers deliver yet again. But Oregon comes down and scores a touchdown to bring this back to a 6-point game. 13-7 Purdue. As we draw up this next play for Rico. Empty backfield for Purdue. Leading Oregon 13-7. Here's the snap. And the quarterback's in trouble. He wisely gets rid of it. Instead of losing yardage, we'll settle for a 2nd and 10. If you're just joining us on today's episode, we opened with a 20-6 loss on the road at Ohio State. And now we're doing battle against Oregon here at home as Big Ten Conference play continues on. Another pass play is on the way. They're going to give it to Wilson. He'll go back towards the middle for a gain of about 1 or 2. There really wasn't anybody else open. All right, 3rd down and 9. Let's go with an all-go. Here we go. Ooh, Wilson is open, but the quarterback got hit as he throws. That's going to be incomplete, and Oregon's going to get the ball back. But again, Kiko Lowlams, like you're talking about, the Purdue defense is stepping up this year, and they did it again. So, let's go with a pistol formation this time. Leave me out of this play. Let's try some slants. Now, we can't afford to take a sack here. Here's the snap. Come on, get rid of it. Get rid of it. There you go. Buy time. I got your block. I got your block. Let's go. Great teamwork right there from the Boilermakers. Jackson Wilson putting his life on the line for his quarterback. Now let's draw up this play for me. 13-7 Boilermakers. As Purdue lines up for a fresh set of downs. Pressure coming. It's the right play call. Jackson Wilson is going to get a positive gain of about 2. And I really wish I had more time, though. I could have easily had more yards there. 2nd and 8 for Purdue. Leading Oregon 13-7 as we enter the final 4 minutes for the first half. Here's the snap. Throw is going to be complete for a gain of about 6. All right, we're originally in run formation, but they're looking for it. So let's do it again on the quick slant. Big play coming up right here. And Purdue delivers. Great audible right there. Teammates, way to deliver. Now here's Wilson lining up for a slip screen on the left side. First down and 10. They go to Wilson again. But again, he can't evade the lineman. And he loses 2 yards. Man, if he didn't make that tackle, he would have had a big play right there. All right, 2nd and 12. Here's the snap. The throw to Wilson. Complete. I didn't even call for that, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, 3rd down and 11. In the shotgun, quarterback takes the snap. Pressure coming. The throw complete, but he's short of the first by about 9 yards. That's going to bring up 4th and 2. Once again, shout out to the defense as the Boilermakers come back out. An opportunity to once again build on a 6-point lead. 59 yards on the day for Jackson Wilson and an A- grade. Here's a fake handoff. Play action, but it's incomplete. Quarterback had one of Wilson's teammates wide open on the left side. It just didn't work out for us there. This Oregon defense has been very, very stingy, especially since the second quarter began. Over the middle. That's dropped, incomplete. So Wilson's teammates with a couple of opportunities, and they just haven't been able to capitalize. 3rd and 10 coming up as we wind down the first half here in West Lafayette. Pressure coming. Wilson breaking free, but the quarterback is sacked. So both defenses have definitely showed up to the party, especially here in the final 8 minutes of the first half. See if Oregon can make something happen before the break. They do indeed. They bring the score to within 3. So Purdue puts up the first 13 points of this game, and now Oregon pushes back with double figures of its own. Purdue football to begin the second half. As the quarterback lines up in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Wilson with the hard cut over the middle, but it's overthrown, incomplete, but a flag is down. And that should be on the Oregon quarterback as he completely wiped out Wilson before the pass got there. 1st and 10 coming up for Purdue at the 36. Come on, Oregon. Don't be throwing cheap shots now. All right, 1st and 10. They got Wilson lined up on the left side. Here's the snap. Wilson. Oh, little payback right there as Jackson Wilson throws the quarterback to the turf. 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Boilermakers. As this time they go with a shallow cross. Jackson Wilson no longer in the backfield. Now he's going to act as one of the wide receivers. He's wide open. It is caught for a gain of about 4. Good play there by Wilson to bring up 3rd down and 1. Hasn't really made any major plays this game, but Wilson's definitely had some great hands. He's made a lot of catches here today. All right, on 3rd and 1, they're going to be looking for the rush, so I think it's time for another slip screen. Yep, see, they're playing it right up the middle. And with the way our line's been blocking today, I just don't trust it. Let's try it over this way. Here we go. Oh, but they made me... They put me in a bad Did you see that? They put me in a terrible animation right there, and that's going to do it for my playing time here today. Actually, never mind. Well, now we're losing. Oregon with a touchdown to make it 13. Man, what looked like a sure first down, the game didn't give it to us. Now they'll try Wilson on the run. Up the middle. And it doesn't really amount to anything. That's going to be it for me. That's kind of why I ran it, because I knew that, you know, like the next guy that hits me, I'm out of the game. So let's see if the Boilermakers can hold strong. Wow, the defense did all it possibly could today, but the offense went cold in the final 3 quarters. That's going to do it. Oregon 24, Purdue 13. I mean, give credit to this Ducks defense, man. They took our offense completely out of this game. There are the final numbers for Wilson. He picks up 62 total yards with an A- grade. Yeah, I definitely agree, Kegel Lambs. It's a great effort. Great team effort, but sometimes the other team is just better than you. And what's more important is our individual performance, because even in games that our team has struggled in, we're putting up good efforts that's going to put us higher on the NFL draft board. Because that's my goal here. As much as I love college, I want to go pro. One of the features that EA Sports has on this game is you can transfer your guy over to Madden. And that's my plan once I finish this final season. So a tough loss for us today, as we dropped to 3-3 overall, 1-2 in Big Ten Conference action. Halfway to senior night, as we take a look at Jackson Wilson. Ooh, we got fan favorite activated. A much-needed bye coming up for the Boilermakers. Now let's see. Wow, they're once again not letting me go to rehab, at least this week anyway. Let's continue to get our studies in. Got the exam coming up. I mean, you're a little bit late, Heatab, but not crazy late, because now, granted, I think we're coming to the end of this episode sooner rather than later. We just played 2 games. We lost to Ohio State. We lost to Oregon. But those were certified heavyweights. Great efforts by Wilson, but you can't win them all. So let's get our bye week in. Oh, yes, Kiko Lowlams, glad that you mentioned that. We have a new backyard baseball game coming up this summer. The backyard baseball game that my loyal subscribers have seen me play, it's a remastered edition with PS5 graphics. So we definitely have a lot to look forward to in that regard. So just something else for you guys to look forward to. All right, let's advance out of the bye. Another heavyweight coming up. We're going to be hosting Penn State in West Lafayette. But I think we're going to save that for the next episode. So, thank you guys once again for watching. Hopefully we can come out of this bye and enter the final stretch on another hot streak. Wilson looking to stay hot. And most importantly, our team trying to get back in the win column because we're very, very close to qualifying for a bowl game. If we can win a couple more games, we've got it. So, tough schedule coming up, but as we've proven in our past game against Wisconsin, this team's definitely better than last year. And even though we may have lost against Ohio State and Oregon, I mean, there's still plenty of moral victories to be had. Sorry, folks, we were having some difficulties. I accidentally hit my remote and I switched inputs on my TV. So, anyway, back to our regular scheduled programming. Let's keep upgrading this IQ. It's very, very important. Wow, I'm almost at 80 overall. All right, I'm going to take care of my weekly agenda items and then head to practice. And I will see you guys for game time against Penn State. Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, Jesus loves you. I don't care who you are or what you guys have been through. He's the way, the truth, and the life. And He desires to be your Lord and Savior, not just on this world, but for all eternity. So, repent, turn from your sin, turn to Him, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. May the peace that passes beyond all understanding and the unconditional love of Jesus Christ be yours today in His holy and almighty name. Take care, guys. You've been watching another presentation of Ladder of Light Gaming's CFB 26 Road to Glory on Heisman difficulty.